Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to another behind-the-scenes video. I am back in my sketchbook world, and today I'm designing something new. Before I begin, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that watched the last video like this, where I was designing the Fool for It minigame. Yeah, I didn't expect that so many people would watch it and like really enjoy it, but yeah, a lot of people asked for more videos like that, so here you go. I listened, and I am now delivering. But yeah, we're doing something pretty different today, because in the last episode, I was designing a minigame, and it's actually surprisingly different designing a minigame compared to designing something like this, which is my crazy cow milk bar, which has a cow above the bar that you can go and milk. So yeah, the difference is that for a minigame, it doesn't matter so much how it looks. Like, for a lot of minigames, including the Fool for It minigame I did last time, I can kind of design the game and make sure the game's fun, and then worry about what it looks like. And it doesn't always work that way around, but the way it normally happens is I design something fun, and then I kind of come up with a theme, or kind of, you know, decide how it's going to look to make it look cool, basically. So with a like a shop or a restaurant or something along those lines, it really only matters what it looks like, you know, because it doesn't really do much. It's mainly there to look cool. So I kind of have to come up with, you know, what it's called and the idea of how it's going to look kind of first, because that's the most important thing. But I always try and do something different, or show something new, or have like a twist. So for the hot potato restaurant, you know, I had the thing where it would get set on fire at the front, and like an automatic potato picker cooker thing. Or trying to think of another example, like when I did the TV station, and you was going to do a TV show in it. Like, there's always either something that I'm trying to teach, or like a very specific theme for each thing, you know, just to make sure it doesn't get boring. So there's always kind of something new. So my idea for this one is a coffee shop, and really what I've come up with is the idea of the name. I want to call it Coffee Corner, and I want to do the shape of the restaurant like this. So this is the restaurant, like these 3 blocks, and then that there can be like a garden. Let me represent the garden by this tiny tree. There we go. So this is the design I have now. So I'm thinking of having like a doorway here. Tell me, let's do this as a little mock-up, shall we? Just to show what's in my head already. So that's the door. You enter here, and then the counter will be like here. These will all be seats there, but then at the back here where the counter is, I want a big machine, okay? So I want a big machine to make the coffee, because if ever you see someone making coffee in a coffee shop, there's always a big machine, and it's really noisy, there's steam going off, they get this little cup and they like bang it on the counter really loudly. It always seems like such a complicated, messy process just to make a cup of coffee. So I kind of want to make fun of that and exaggerate it a bit, and have this whole back wall as a huge machine, and have it really noisy. Maybe have like pistons and note blocks going off under the ground. And so you kind of put in a coffee bean, which I'm assuming I can do as a cocoa bean, because that kind of looks perfect. And then you end up getting coffee. The thing I'm not sure about is what coffee's gonna be, because when I did my tea shop, I kind of used this, because that does look like a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, but I really want to be able to drink it. So I might have these out on the table, and then have the coffee as a swiftness potion, because then you can actually drink it. And as you know, coffee can make you go a little bit hyper, so, you know, running around super fast afterwards would kind of make a lot of sense. So that's literally all of the idea that I have at the moment. Everything else I'm going to kind of try and come up with, you know, during these videos, I guess. So yeah, let's kind of start off by thinking about the shape of the building. I know I kind of got that back wall, but let's, so I guess we know the shape. I guess it's the materials we want to think about, and I think I'm probably going to use one of these 3 different types of stone, basically because I didn't know that I could make these different types of stone. I didn't know you could craft them. I thought you could only mine them. And it was actually in the last behind the scenes video I did, well, the last one like this, the Fool for It one, where someone pointed out that, you know, you can make them with a crafting table, which I didn't know about. So that's kind of opened up a lot of doors for, yeah, how I can use these different materials. So as you can see, you can just mix like cobblestone and the quartz, and then kind of mix them together to make all of these. So I think I want to use some of these just because they're new and I've not used them before. So what I'm going to do before I kind of really build the shape, I'm going to load up my lovely world, look at exactly where I want to build it, see how much room I have, and then kind of come back in this world and kind of take it from there. Okay, I'm now in my lovely world, and I think I found the perfect place. I kind of thought I was going to build it here anyway. But kind of coming here, I realized just how perfect this is. Kind of almost by accident. So this is the area I was going to build it. I've basically kind of marked out a little bit the size that I want it. This is 27 blocks along there and then along that way. So this is 28 blocks to here. I had to do it slightly smaller just so that there's an exact middle. It had to be an odd number. And I've kind of changed the idea a little bit. So let me break this away here. So I kind of split it up into these squares. And I was trying to work out where do I want the corner. Do I want it to be like round that way, or where do I want it? And I decided that I'm going to have it like this. So if I break this away, so this will be the garden here. I don't know, like, I want to make the most of the water because the water's really nice here. And so I don't know, I could maybe have like the outdoor area, like a little beach place. The thing is though, is that I was planning to kind of extend this out here. So you can see that I've kind of built a path to nowhere at the moment. I was extending to keep building this out and then have more land there. So the question is, does that stay water there? And I think it will. I think that will stay water. I think I'll just have one linking bit to there. So I think that this is going to be the last thing I do is working out exactly how I want the garden. But yeah, this is kind of how I want the place to be. So let's kind of break this away as well. And then you'll kind of see the right angle that I want the shop to be like. So let's go and break this away here. And I'll explain kind of what I have in mind. So you might notice that I've put down a couple doors as well. So this is kind of marking the entrance, so you'll kind of enter here, and then this is kind of the corner, and then over there would be all of the seats, and then another couple doorways here leading to the garden, and then over here this would be where the counter is. And because I want that machine to be quite big, the counter is probably going to come across around here somewhere. Then I can have my big machine all the way along this back wall there. Then that's when you go and then this is where you're going to sit down and drink your coffee. So this is quite a good plan. So it works really well because it's kind of a corner of the street as well. I like it because I can like call this street, you know, if I end up naming the names of these streets, I can call this Coffee Corner here, you know, let's go and meet at Coffee Corner for a drink. So I kind of like the idea of that as well because it's like a corner of these roads. I think just kind of makes the coffee theme, not the coffee theme, the corner theme, sorry, a little bit better. So yeah, this is pretty much the plan. So what I'm going to do now is I'll take like a screenshot of this. I'll kind of make a note of the dimensions, and then I'll know basically what area I have to build in. As I said, I won't worry about the garden yet because that's kind of the only bit that I really have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm also going to just take some just screenshots of this area because something very important, and this is something that I think I did really badly at first, but I'm getting better at, is kind of making sure it fits in with everything else. So, you know, I wouldn't want to use, you know, anything gray because it's going to be right next to a big gray building, the Fancy Pants restaurant. You know, I want to make sure it's a different color, and of course I don't want any red on it or even really too much white. So that's kind of limiting my choices a little bit, and that's something that I didn't really bear in mind. Like, this place always annoys me because I feel like that is too similar to that there. And then there was also some buildings here, like, yeah, I had the post office right next to the toy shop, and look how similar they are. It's like stone and then a wooden roof. And originally, I think they both used to be oak, and then I think I changed one to spruce or something. You know, I tried to make them a little bit more separate, but that always really annoys me as well. So now you'll kind of see in some of my more modern builds that things kind of don't look the same. Like, things are made out of different materials. There's not too many things of the same color right next to each other. So I've kind of just started, thinking a little bit more about that than I used to. But anyway, this isn't about that. This is about the coffee corner. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically mark out an area in the sketchbook world. And then, yeah, I'm going to kind of build this shape and start deciding exactly how I want the outside to look. And then the fun thing is going to be designing the machine itself. So yeah, I'll see you back in the sketchbook world. Okay, I'm back in the sketchbook world, and I haven't started building anything properly yet. I've just been kind of playing around with these different materials. So I was pretty certain I was going to end up building out of one of these materials just because I haven't used it before. But it turns out I don't really like any of them, and I've never liked them in the game, because it always annoys me when I'm mining and you kind of end up with all of these different types of stone, and they're not really used for anything. They're only there for decoration, and I don't think they look very good. So I always knew that I didn't like them kind of in the game in general, but now I thought, oh, in my lovely world, I got the best of both because I don't find them mining, but I can still build out of them. But yeah, I didn't really like the look of any of them. That's kind of the one I like the look of the most, but it's kind of a lot like stone. And it's right next to the Fancy Pants restaurant, so it's just a little bit uninteresting. So I did try, and I think the thing that I don't like about them, in terms of like building a wall out of them, is the fact that they're all like boxy. They're all like a square. You can kind of see an outline. It kind of reminds me a little bit like wool from the plastic texture pack. Like if I get some of the andesite and then some stone, you'll see that the stone, it all kind of links together. When you do it, the way the texture is, it all kind of blends together to look like one big wall. But then if you build out of these materials, because they kind of got like a shadow and highlights around the outside, they kind of look like individual blocks, which is okay. Like if you're trying to do tiles or something, it might look okay. So I might use one of them for the floor, possibly. But for the outside, it didn't really work. So because they were boxy, what I tried doing is kind of mixing them with like other boxy materials, you know, things that kind of have an outline. And so I've been thinking for a while about building out of note blocks, which is something I haven't really done. And if you remember the tour of my sketchbook world, I have tried in the past to build something out of note blocks, but it's never looked good. But I think they just look really nice, and they look kind of very coffee shop colored. You know, coffee shops are generally very wooden and very kind of brown, I guess. And so I think that might make more sense. So I tried building a wall, and once again, I didn't like that. It's kind of too much, I found. So I knew I didn't want just note blocks. I've also been thinking about building out of mushrooms for a while, the different types of mushrooms. So I kind of had a bit of a play around with them. But I also discovered that the redstone lamps are a relatively similar color, and no one ever builds out of redstone lamps without turning them on, if that makes sense. You know, like, you know, people always switch the lamps on when they're using them. You know, people only use them as lights, but they're just a pretty nice looking block, aren't they? So I was thinking about using them, so I kind of played around with a few things. I was really set on using these blocks. You can see I was trying to basically cover them up and use note blocks, but that didn't look too great. But then, yeah, I kind of accidentally stumbled across this design, where I had note blocks and then the lanterns, and you can see they both have their outlines, but it's a patchwork, so it looks okay. Then I thought about kind of having this outline, because if there wasn't an outline to them, then it kind of looks a little bit weird having them as like the end walls. So I think just for the way that your eyes kind of look and follow a pattern, you do kind of need something else on the outside, and I thought that wood kind of fits in, and of course I use my favorite spruce wood. And then I'm experimenting with the ceiling. I'm not set on this yet, but I think that looks pretty cool. And another idea I had, just to be funky and cool, because coffee shops are always trying to be cool, is to kind of just have random lamps switched on. So maybe just like a few of them on each wall, just switched on in random places, I thought might look pretty cool. And that looks a little bit too much like a pattern. I can probably make it look even more random than that. So yeah, what do you think of kind of this design? I think that looks quite interesting. I think that I'm probably going to do something similar. I don't know whether I'm going to do something down the front. I don't really like the way it links to the grass, but if I put a half slab or something next to it, which I've done before, it looks weird kind of cutting those blocks in half. I think looks odd. So I don't know if I could maybe simply kind of go around the ground like this on the outside, or put a fence in front of it or something along those lines, because I think that might end up making it look a little bit nicer. And then yeah, I just need to decide what the floor on the inside, you know, is going to be. I might do it as this the andesite. I think this might be an okay flooring for the inside. I don't want it to all be brown, so I don't think I want a wooden floor. So yeah, I think that might actually look pretty nice. So yeah, I think the next step is to kind of stick with this design and try and do it in the corner shape that I've been talking about. So yeah, I'm going to go and kind of lay that out now, and we can go and see whether it actually looks any good or not. Right, I have been busy. I have now gone and kind of built the rough outline of the coffee corner, and this is what it looks like. This is how it's ended up, and I like it and I don't like it. Okay, so I really like this pattern. This pattern has definitely grown on me, and I kind of mentioned this in my last one. Like, the more you look at a pattern, I think the more you like it, because you kind of get used to it. So I really like the look of this, like when I'm looking at it like this. So you see the screen now? I like it like that, but I don't like it as much when you're looking at it like that. I think the size of the coffee shop, which is a bit weird because coffee shops generally aren't this big, I think it kind of looks like a bit too much. And especially if you look at it like that, do Do you see what I mean? It's a lot of the same, I guess, the same kind of browny colors. And I like it because it's very different to anything else in that area. The thing is, it has to be this big because I want the corner shape, and then I'm going to have the big coffee machine at the back here, so I don't want to necessarily make it smaller. I think I just need to add some variety, and I'm hoping it's going to end up looking better naturally. If I start lighting some of these up and add some windows in, hopefully that's just going to add a little bit of a variety. You're also going to notice that I've kind of built it high up off the ground. I do that sometimes. You can see I've kind of done it here and I've done it there as well. The reason I do that is just to give me room for redstone. I mean, it was probably a bit of a waste for this, considering this is all of the redstone I did under the ground. But if I think I am going to be doing a lot of redstone under the ground like this, I'd rather just build it above the ground, and then I kind of have all of this room rather than trying to dig down, because this is just a normal super flat as well, so we can only dig down a few blocks. So yeah, I decided to do it above the ground in case I do some redstone underneath for the machine. So let's experiment a bit then. Let's go and light up some of these lights, and let's see how it looks. So of course on the inside there's going to be kind of like random levers all over the place. I don't really mind that. I think that's fine. Like I'm not too bothered about that. So I think, you know, coffee shops are always trying to be cool and modern and funky, and so kind of these random things, you know, having one wall different to all of the others, and kind of like, you know, you're sitting on barrels rather than normal seats. You know, they're always trying to do these funky things in coffee shops. So I don't mind if there's kind of like these random things all over the place, because I think that kind of just fits in with the style. It also is the other benefit of I probably won't need too many torches, because these are going to light up the area pretty nicely. I don't know if they're going to light it up entirely, but yeah, it means that I probably don't need to worry too much about having a load of torches all over the place, which is kind of another handy benefit. You can see how much lighter it is in here now compared to what it was before. So let's go and have a look at that and see if we like it more or less than we did before. I think I like it more. I think that has added just about enough variety just to kind of make it look a little bit more interesting and stand out. So yeah, I think I am going to go with the random lamps on idea. The roof's a bit plain, but I don't know if I want to play around with the roof too much in this one. I don't know. Maybe I will. Let's go and add the windows in, shall we? And let's see what that adds to it. So I sometimes use window panes. I sometimes use blocks. So let's kind of do 2 experiments and see what we like the most. So let's just do like a big window along there like that. So with the panes, I feel like you can see that they're blocks more, if that makes sense, you know, because you can kind of see like the windowsill a bit more. That looks pretty good though, doesn't it? Let's go and have another go here with the blocks, and let's see what do we think looks better. The one annoying thing about using these note blocks is you got to crouch every time you're placing something on them, and that is a bit of a pain. So that's that's a bit of a pain. Oh, didn't even mean to make that one. Right, so there's this one looks like this, and then over here, this one looks like that. I like the window panes because it kind of adds a bit of texture to the building as well. It kind of makes it look a bit more 3D, you know, because it's quite flat otherwise. This adds like a you know, it makes it look a little bit less flat because you can kind of see the tops of these blocks, and it's a bit of like an indent, I guess. So let's kind of work out how we're going to have these windows. So I kind of went 4 from the edge there. What happens if so? I could then go 1, 2, 3, 4 from the door. Didn't mean to make that rhyme. And then kind of do another window there. I spent absolutely ages doing this. Like working out where to put like the torches and the windows is one of the things that I spend loads and loads of time on. That doesn't look too great. Let's go and do this window to there, like that, and then let's go and get myself my note block and my redstone lamp, and let's go and put that there. And then so yeah, I did it free from the door this time, so let's go and try that out and see how that looks. I think this should yeah, that looks pretty nice. And then I can have the same kind of thing along here if I kind of go 1, 2, 3 and then add some of these in. So yeah, I don't need to worry about doing all of this now. Like I know it looks good, I know that the windows add enough. I kind of just want to do at least some along this this long row here, just so I can kind of see it kind of a proper full angle of it. Seeing as I'm this close anyway, let's kind of just see how this looks. So now I kind of want one directly in the middle of these two. Is this gonna look okay here like this? There we go. That's not completely symmetrical. Actually, that's annoying me a little bit. Let's go and switch this around to here like that. And yeah, I think that looks okay. Let's kind of go back here and kind of see it from the side. So that's pretty much how the coffee corner is going to look in my lovely world. If you're looking at it from the outside, this is going to be the style of it. I might do something with the roof if I come up with an idea, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do for that, to be honest. Of course, the other big question is what do I do with the garden? You can see I can just kind of just put a door down there for now. I didn't really want a double door going to the garden, so I kind of put it a little bit off center. Yeah, I'm going to have to work out what I want to do with the garden. I could have like a water fountain and then things like seats around it or something. There must be a good idea to go with the garden. Generally, I can kind of just come up with one naturally rather than trying to force it. So, yeah, hopefully I'm just going to kind of come up with one while building everything else. You know, there could be a case of like, it could like even be like a little bit like a drive-through. Like, so say if that's where the coffee's being made there, that's where the counter is. The machine, there could be a switch on the machine where you choose to like launch coffee outside or to the counter. I don't know. There might be something interesting that I can do with this garden. So let's kind of ignore that for now. It's not going to really affect anything else. And so then the next big thing that I really need to think about is the inside. So I've got this huge space here. It's absolutely massive. It's gonna look way smaller once I start filling it in with stuff. Once I start adding furniture and that, the room's gonna shrink, so it's not gonna look this big really when it's all finished. But this is pretty large for a coffee shop. So of course the most important thing's the counter over there, but I need to decide the floor. So I did mention about using this, what's this again? This is the andesite. So I did talk about using this. I don't know if I'm using this because I think it's going to be good or if I think that I'm going to use this because I've not used it before, but it does kind of look a little bit like tiles. And I know I don't want anything brown. I don't want anything a similar color to the walls because otherwise it's going to be completely overwhelming. So I want kind of quite a nice neutral color like this. The only other thing I think might look really good is possibly like maybe like white stained clay. This might be a nice mix. So let's go and kind of just throw down a few different color floor around the place here. I think like white, like snow or quartz will be too white, but this kind of off-white actually might look pretty good. So that looks okay. I think that's a little bit too similar. I think that this isn't actually white enough. I think this does look better, and I do like the tiles. The only question is, do I then kind of do like a checkered pattern or do I just leave it like this? I think leaving it like this might be good because you don't want to overwhelm it because there's so much going on in here already and there's going to be all seats and stuff. I think this is what I'm gonna go for. So I'm gonna go and fill this this entire area in here and fill in the entire floor with this, and then I can go and start working out all of the different furniture, and then of course the biggest thing that I want to work out, kind of like the standout thing for this build, is going to be the machine, which is going to be behind the counter. So I want to work out exactly what that is. Like, I always try and teach something new with a mechanic in the game or with redstone that I've not shown before. So I'm going to kind of have a think around and maybe just to play around with redstone in general, just to see if there's something interesting that I can find out, and it will be able to be used with this. And yeah, then I'm going to go and build that. So seeing as this is actually going on for a lot longer than I thought it was going to, I think I'm going to split this into two separate parts, because otherwise it's going to be like a gigantic video. So I think that seeing as I've now kind of worked out the shell of the building, I've worked out all of the outside and even the floor on the inside, I think I'm going to end this episode here. And then in the next episode, we can work out the furniture, we can work out the machine behind the counter, and then we can also go and put a little bit more thought into what the garden's going to be. And then we're going to have a complete build planned out for my lovely world. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching these behind the scenes videos. I'm going to have the next episode very soon. It'll probably kind of come out at the same time as you're going to see me actually actually building it in my lovely world. So yeah, it'll probably be in a few days from now. But of course, I'll add a link down in the description once it is online, so you can go and watch it straight away. So let me just go and finish off this final little stretch here, and then we can have a look around and kind of see what we what we have and what it ends up looking like. This is normally the point where I change my mind and decide I don't look like what it looks like, and I have to end up changing the entire thing again. But I think I'm gonna like this. So let's fill that in and let's look around. Look how bright it is. This is amazingly bright. Obviously, there's a few dark patches away from the walls, but overall, I think this is going to be light enough for me to not need to add any torches. Let's see what it looks like at night time. There we go. It's still pretty bright in here. This is looking pretty good. So, yep, that is the end of this episode here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!